Okay, welcome into the final round of ALR Season 18 Tier 2 Blue. It should be an interesting one because we've actually got both championships wrapped up, so they are only fighting for position, and I'm not sure what's going on there. Pretty sure Senior Fak actually got pole, so I think Morsel's just in the wrong position there. Pretty sure. He's like he's speaking directly to me. Were you wondering the same thing? Evening, Ellie. Let's get the chat up. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty sure Senor Fak is on pole, because that's where he is, and that's just the blue flag glitch playing up. It should sort itself out once we get to the first sector normally. Evening, Colin. So, Senor Fak on pole in the Porsche. I think this might be the second season in a row the Porsche has been on pole. Last season was Asseldor, might be the one before. But not a car you'd expect to do too well here. And we're going to go on board with him because I want to see his start from first down to wherever he ends up. Because it's going to be a rough one. We've got Scotty in second in the Lambo. Not great off the starts either. But again, another track you'd expect the Lambo to do particularly well at. But he's in second in qualifying. Then we've got Taz, who's been actually qualified better than he has done most of the time. He's had top 5 pace pretty much every round. Goes on the podium and going for at least a podium in the feature. Oh, DC in the feature, that's unfortunate. But yeah, Taz, been top 5 in all the races pretty much. Hasn't always qualified that well. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do from up front. Eroticos is going for P2 in the championship. Like I said, the championship is decided, but P2 and I think P2, 3, 4 are all up for grabs. And I think there might be prize money for that. I'm not sure. So there's definitely something still to fight for. We've got Ross with one of his best qualifyings in 5th. I know that this is one of Ross's best tracks. He always says that it is, and he enjoys it. And he's in the Jag, which is good here. So I'm expecting a good result from Ross. He's actually out-qualified his teammate, who is... Where is Morsel? Down in 9th, I think. No, this will be 8th on the grid. Yeah, 8th. So he's actually out-qualified his teammate, which has been a bit of a rarity this season because Morsel's been so fast. Got Deco up in 7th. Kind of slightly better than where he's been previously. Again, that's where you'd expect the Porsche to be honest. Prime Call down in 8th, a little bit worse than he has been in the last couple of rounds, but with the AMG start and with the amount of slipstream and overtaking you can get done here, not the end of the world to be down in 8th. Ellie down in 9th, slightly worse than most of the qualifyings, but this is after the Lexus nerf in the last BOP update, so it's not quite as strong as it used to be. Peachy up in 10th. That's really good qualifying from Peachy. We've usually seen him down on the back row of the grid, so this is a big improvement. And he's got a Corvette which is good off the line, so you never know where he could end up. We've got Spin in the McLaren in 11th. Kind of been down here most of the season. The McLaren's somehow surprisingly good on this track, but it's a bit of a weird one. It's got not great acceleration, but good top speed to make up for it. Got Asseldor down in 12th. I don't think he's been out-qualified by his teammate much this season either. So it'll be interesting to see if he maybe didn't get a clean lap in. It's very easy to pick up penalties at this track. Then we've got Ariedi. Let's call him Ariedi, because it's there, it'll be easier. Had a few lag problems in Fuji, and I think got involved in a couple of incidents because of it, so it'll be interesting to see if that has improved this round. Then we've got Pyro down in 14th. Bit of a surprise, really. I don't think the McLaren was touched in the last BOP update, so he's just struggling here for some reason. Maybe not his favourite track. But yeah, down in 14th is a little bit surprising. He had some really good results. Had some almost a win a couple of rounds, I think, P2. And then we have Tom Nitro at the back in the Supra. This is only his second round of the season, so we don't really know what to expect. Yeah, Pyro is washed. He's trying to sandbag his way down to Tier 3, but he's left it way too late. Way too late. Yeah, so we've got Tom in 15th in the Supra. Should be able to get some moves done in the Supra. His thing is fast on the straight still. So let's go on board with Senor Fak. How many places is he going to lose? Got to remember, this is P1. Goes to cover off the inside, but that's 1. That's 2 positions lost. That's 3 because Ross has gone through. That's 5 because Prime goes through and Mortal. He's down into 6 at the moment, but he's got the inside line. Oh, no! Gets a whack from behind. I think that was from Asseldor, potentially. Let's go back and have a look at that. Somebody sent it up the inside. Yeah, Assel just a little bit too late on the brakes. Lucky that, well, actually, no, take that back. Senor Fak did collect everybody. That is carnage. And Senor Fak is somehow back up into P11. So it could have been worse, but that is his pole position well and truly ruined. And he's still got damage, so he's going to be a little vulnerable on the straight. Somebody that was spin, making a little bit of a mistake in the background. I think he was the one that got collected initially by Senor Fak when he spun. Pyro is now up into 10th. You got collected too. Yeah, but you managed to hold on to 9th. So it could have been worse. You come out of it surprisingly well, considering you were collected. Got a deco, fighting with his teammate. Senor Fak's damage has gone now. So he's up to 11th and he should be back on the pace. Yeah, I'm usually the one that does that to people. And they usually cost you a lot. So we've got Peachy going up the inside of a Rotkoz for P7. Corvette should have the legs on the straight compared to the Lexus. I'm guessing the Lexus probably got the slipstream on the outside though, because that is the racing line. But he backs out of it. Really difficult to go 2x2 through that chicane. And he's got a 2-second penalty anyway. Those penalties are harsh around Daytona. Now we've got Peachy up in 7th on the back of his teammate. So his teammate did jump him. And kind of saw why, because he was very late on the brakes. Into turn 1. He's putting Prime Cole under some pressure. Scotty serving a penalty as well. Is Ellie going to be able to get through? Yes, he is, up into P7. So that's Scotty down from P2 on the grid down to P8. Asseldor does go for the move on Prime Cole. Look like there may be a little bit of contact, but there's always room on the outside. And then we've got Mortal from a P8 in qualifying. He's now suddenly in P3. So you wouldn't even know they had a bad qualifying. Ross up to P2 and challenging for the lead on the back of Taz. And that Jag should really just ease past the Peugeot on the straights. Peugeot has not got good top end speed. Ross should know this. Taz has been in multiple of these races, so he should kind of know what the Peugeot's got compared to the Jag. Taz going really wide, trying to get as much of a run onto the oval as he can. Goes up wide. There are a few different lines in that corner. Can either really hug the inside, which works well in the Jag because it's got such good acceleration. Taz just wants to carry as much speed as possible. Is Ross going to be able to get alongside and go for the move? Taz is defending. Ross going to the outside, but doesn't actually go for the move. Smart decision. If you're on the outside, even Alessandro. I imagine you'll be familiar with Taz's experience of having no top speed at this track. And now we've got the two Jags working together. Mortal's surely just going to bump his teammate past, and this should be so easy. They're both going to get through. Yeah, they are both through already. We're not even to the line. And Taz already down to P3. Yeah. Overtake of the year. It might be your overtake. It was very, very easy overtake there. We've actually got Taz coming back at Mortal, trying to get in between the Jags. Mortal should be able to hold this around the outside if he gets a good exit. They're still alongside each other. Ross giving the slipstream to his teammate, but then swaps over to the outside. Mortal is ahead for now, but he's not got the inside for this corner. Manages to cover it off though. And I think Asseldor probably had a bad qualifying because he's in 4th and he's right on the back of the leaders. If it got reported, he's got a chunky penalty waiting for him, I believe, for turn 1. So it'll be interesting to see where he can get to. I would love to see it. I would love to see Ross in tier 1. Well, we've got Taz in the slipstream. He's right onto the back of Morsel. Is he going to go to the inside? No, decides not to go for it. Ross is just starting to break away a little bit. Well, he didn't have the best chicane there, and that's going to allow his teammate onto the back of him, who I suspect will probably just play the bump drafting game and try and drive away from these guys. Because both of these cars obviously are exceptionally good on the straights. Actually got a buff in the last BOP update, which is a mystery to me. But it's now even faster than it was. Taz going to be looking to hold on to a podium. He's going to struggle to keep the Corvette behind him, but he needs to keep the slipstream from the cars ahead. That is critical, otherwise I think the Corvette's just going to drive past him. And they're not losing them in the middle sector. So Taz is sticking with them. Zenyofak actually got the fastest lap with the 46.2, so he's definitely got the pace, and we'll have to go down and see if he's made his way into the top 10 or not, as the teammates are actually going side by side, so not deciding to work together. They're actually just racing each other, or they're just going 2 by 2 to block the track. Taz again going out wide, but he needs to get back down to the inside to make sure Assel doesn't get there first, because you lose so much time going high on these bankings if you decide to go for it. Yeah, which is why Taz is just sitting in the slipstream there. There's no point trying to go around the outside of the banking. Now, what's Morsel going to do here? Ross is going slightly defensive. And Taz is up the inside of Morsel, and he looks like he's leaving it there. And it looks like he's managed to get the move done. Does he get a penalty anywhere? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, he's managed to get away with that penalty. Good move there from Taz, back up into P2. And that, going, like I said, going side by side through the chicane, really difficult. It's cost him a lot of time to Ross. We've got Asseldor having a look around the outside, but he's going to struggle to get the move done there. Yeah, has to almost pull back in. Motor trying to go to the inside. There is an invisible wall at the inside of turn 1 still, you've got to be careful of. Doesn't get collected. Taz does hold on to P2. Is Asseldor looking for a move? Oh, it's a late one. Does get to the inside though. Moore does leave him room. Now is Asseldor back up into, well, not back up, he's up into P3 from, I think, 13th on the grid. I mean, he did take out plenty of his competition in turn 1. But still, he's definitely got the pace. Having qualified 13th, was obviously a penalty or some kind of problem in qualifying, never got a clean lap in. Taz is still in the slipstream of Ross. Asseldor, I'm pretty sure, is still in the slipstream of Taz. So let's just have a quick look down and see how everything shakes out. So we've got Prime Collie in 5th, Peachy up from 10th into 6th. So this is Peachy's best performance of the season by far. It's a great way to end it. Obviously, he probably would have liked to have done it earlier, but still. It's a great result if we can finish P6. Ellie's up to 7th after getting collected in lap 1 a little bit. Deco's actually up into 8th, so he's actually managed to get past his teammate. Pyro's still up to 9th, Scotty in 10th. Zenyofak still hasn't managed to break his way back into the top 10, and Roykos is having a bit of a nightmare down in 12th. We know he had that penalty, so he might have dropped down there on lap 1. With the cars so close together, it's going to cost you a load of positions. And we've got a lot of bit of thinking about it, and Pyro somehow ended up off the inside line, which is not where you want to be. And I'm surprised Zenyofak just didn't bump Scotty through there, to be honest, and try and follow him through. Because you want the inside here. Yeah, it did get nerfed a bit, especially on the straights. The extra weight, you can feel it. I think it got a weight and a power nerf, possibly. It's definitely not the beast it used to be. but he's making progress. He qualified, I think it was around the top 5, so we know he's got the pace still. And it's just that penalty there at the moment that's holding him back, or that we've seen. And now Scotty's through, he's already trying to make a run for it. This midfield section really going to suit the Lambo compared to the banking. I've actually got Pyro trying to go for the move on Eroticos to get back into the top 10. But he's going to get forced out there, yeah, has to back out and come to the inside. Looks like he's got the switchback though, and he's on the inside line. Senior Fact surely just going to bump Pyro through, and he should get this position as well. Yeah, that's what he is doing. Yeah, and he's got that position up into P11. Now, does he decide to look for a move into the chicane? No, he's just bump drafting Pyro for now. Oh, we've got some side-by-side between Scotty and Deco up ahead. That might be a penalty for Deco. It was very wide, yeah, 1 second penalty. Senior Fact trying to bump his teammate, and it did help him. But it looks like it has hampered Senior Fact quite a bit down into 12th with the Rocos on the outside. But he's going to get at least one position from Deco, and he's got the slipstream off Pyro, so he should gain the position back on Eroticos, and he does. And we've got Tom sneaking into this. Like I said, that Supra is going to be rapid on the straight still. And up into 11th, oh, but he's gone deep. He's a little bit off track. Eroticos takes advantage and goes to the inside. And they're still going side by side. And Tom's got the inside for this corner. Can he force Eroticos out? Yes, but he's still there. He's almost fully ahead. Yeah, and he is fully ahead now. And Eroticos is actually looking for the move into here. Dives down the inside. Both leaving each other room, and then Tom's going to have the inside for this corner onto the oval. Should be able to hold this position. As long as he doesn't get switchbacked. But actually Deco's looking at Eroticos. Yeah, you can see how much the Porsche, how much better the Porsche turns than the Lexus does. Eroticos just having no option other than to go wide, but he's using that power around the outside to actually still stay ahead. And he is ahead. We'll just watch it into the chicane and then we'll go back a bit because there has been a change out the front. Yeah, so he does hold on to that. So, let's go back. So, Ross. He's leading. Trying to break the toe a little bit. Coming under pressure from Taz. Taz's going to go all the way around the outside of him in turn 1. So Ross has still got the inside. But Taz looks like he's managed to hold it all the way around the outside of turn 1. He's going to give him the inside four, which is essentially turn 2. Because both the other corners are basically just flat out kinks. Yeah, and he does. He managed to get back up into the lead. So I thought he'd struggled to get the move done on the Jag. Had to make a difficult one around the outside of turn 1, but it was a great move. And this has turned into a three-way fight for the podium. Hasseldo's just dropped back into 5th. I'm guessing a penalty a couple of laps ago at a 149. It's probably where they got that. Now, how is Taz going to hold on to this position? Because we saw how easy both the Jags just bump drafted each other past him on lap 2 or 3. And he didn't really have much of a defence for it. And is the same thing going to happen again? They're being forced to the outside. Taz obviously covering off the inside. Yeah, and Taz does manage to hold on to the position though. Everyone all within track limits there. Looked all good. Now, are they going to go for the move immediately, or do they know that they can just slipstream past him and they're just going to wait and bump draft each other past him on the last lap? Well, they're doing exactly what they did earlier, and it's going to be just as easy. Both pass by the time they get to the line. And I'm not sure what Taz can really do about it. He can't go any faster on his own. But now we've got Ross back into the lead. A 1-2 for Team Jaguar. Already wrapped up the Constructors' Championship. This would be a great way just to cap off the season with a 1-2 in the sprint race. If they can hold on to it. Taz is right on the back of Mortal in this section. Ross has started to build a small gap. And these guys fighting is going to make it even bigger. Mortal's got the inside through that corner, manages to hold on, and he's going to cover off the inside. Taking a slightly defensive line, but not really. Taz just getting it turned so much better. And they might barely be in slipstream of Ross. That could keep Taz ahead. He's got the inside for the chicane. So if he can stay on this line and hold it, doesn't get overtaken by the Jag. Actually, it looks like maybe Mortal's just backing out of it a little bit because he was dropping back there, which is a little bit surprising. Gets a great run through the chicane, but can't get to the inside of Taz. And 4th and 5th aren't out of this if these two keep battling. Ross has got a very nice lead now, though. He should be safe with this, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Because now it's on the last lap, these guys are definitely going to be fighting. Boss is going to try and do what Taz did to them. Kind of be later, Taz was up later on the brakes. He's going to go wide, no, gets it down to the apex nicely. But these are going to, 4 and 5 are getting close. It's going to become a 3-way, maybe even a 4-way battle for P2 soon. They've only got 1 lap, so it's got to be now. Taz covering off the inside. Mal just trying to be as late as he can on the outside. Can he get to a tighter line? He can. But has to pull in behind Taz again. Taz going really defensive into this corner. Is he just going to hug the inside? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, Mal having a bit of a slide. It's not the end of the world, because with this gap, if he can get a good run through the chicane, it could give him some nice momentum to get the move done. Because despite the Jag being faster on the straights, we've actually seen it struggle to get past on its own. When they've both gone flying past Taz, it's been both of them bump drafting each other. So Maul's right onto the back of him. Doesn't go wide enough to get a penalty. Looks like the other two are out of it, so this is a 2-way fight for P2. Yeah, Maul's bump drafting him now because he knows he can't go to the outside. Goes up high to give him a bit of a gap, to give him a bit of a run. Looks like he might get this, but let's go on board with the leader. Ross going to take his first win of the season, I think, on one of his favourite tracks. And Maul is just going to get P2 for Team Jaguar, so it's a 1-2 for Team Jaguar. Asseldor up from 13th to 4th, with probably a penalty for the first lap. Prime Cole up to 5th from a bit of a dodgy qualifying as well. Peachy in 6th with a great result for Team Corvette, with Peachy up in 6th. Scotty managed to recover to 7th. Okay, well, let's go and find these results so I actually know where everyone finished. Okay, let's bring everything up. Okay, so Scotty managed to hold on to P7 just in front of Ellie. Looked like a pretty close finish there. So in fact managed to up into 9th, so that is big for his feature race. Obviously we know he had pole in for the sprint race, got taken out of turn 1. Pyro up into 10th. So that's massive for his race as well, because he was 14th for the start of the sprint. Roscoe's going to be disappointed with 11th. Just missing out on the reverse feature grid. And he doesn't get any points for the sprint either. It's going to be getting P2 challenging in the points, I think. But obviously Alien actually not here, so that is obviously going to help massively. Spin is going to take 12. And then Deco dropped back towards the end, and Tom ended up dropping back. Must have had a penalty or some sort of incident, because he was almost up near the top 10 at one point, and Ariady has left. So possibly internet issues again for Ariady. Which is a bit of a shame. because there's times when he's qualified well, he's had the pace. He has been had lag problems, got in incidents, or just got disconnected, which I'm guessing possibly happened in this race. And we'll load up for the feature race. I'm not sure how many strategies are going to be available for this. Daytona traditionally always a one-stop. Some people have tried a two-stop in some of the other tiers, but I have no idea how it worked out for them. I can't imagine it worked out particularly well. But let's go from the front. If they're all on mediums, it means nobody's going to go a hard soft, which is an option, weirdly. Doesn't tend to be, but it can work here. Some tried hard medium. Yeah, if you can't make the softs last, that's kind of your only option. But let's see. How many, if anyone, is not on the medium? Okay, so everyone... Okay, so Rd8's back in, so it must have been a disconnect or something like that. Obviously starting at the back for the feature race. So everybody's on the medium tyres. So the pit strategies, let's just pause. Pit strategies was, if you're really good on the tyres, you can come in on like 14 off the mediums and go to the end on softs. I think a lot of people are going to be going 15 laps. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, it's barely possible. It is barely possible to go 9 on the softs. 8 should do it comfortably. You can do it flat out, really, 8 laps with no real problems. Unless you've got really bad tyre wear. Lexuses may struggle. I know they have bad tyre wear. Corvette also, actually, might have to go medium hard. We've seen them struggle on tyre wear as well. Yeah. You'd be surprised how much time you lose saving the tyres here, because you wouldn't think you would, because there's not that many corners, but we are off. Pyro getting away comfortably from the lead. McLaren doesn't always have the best rolling starts, but he's not under pressure at the moment. Ellie going really late on the brakes, closing up to Senor Fak. But didn't get the best exit. Senor Fak now right onto the back of Pyro. And if he can get past Pyro early, which he looks like he will do, dives to the inside. Yeah, and he's already through. If Senor Fat can just drive away now, we know he's got the pace. He was on the pole for the sprint race. This might just be over already. Although Scotty's there as well. Scotty was P2. If Scotty can make some good progress and stick with Senor Fat, looks like he might be able to get up into P3 here. Yeah, that's Lambo. Yeah, he did. It was a bit of a late one. But he really just got there, got down to the apex, and there's nothing Pyro could do about it. But Scotty's going to have to do the same. Maybe that move from Senor Fat will have woken Pyro up now. We've got to keep an eye on the Corvettes as well, because they could be the ones doing a different strategy, having to go onto the hard tyres, so they may drop back a little bit in the second stint. So Senor Fat not getting away quite yet. Ellie's right onto the back of Scotty. And he's definitely going to have a top speed advantage still over the Lambo, even after the nerf. But is it going to be enough to go for a move? They're going to have to do it around the outside, surely. Scotty's definitely going to cover off the inside. Does Ellie even want to go for the move? They might just be saving fuel. But we know the Lexus is good. And if you can afford to fuel save, it's quite ridiculous how much fuel you can have at the pit stop. Hello, Scarlett Smith. Welcome. I don't recognise you from Discord. You got a different name on Discord? Or are you just new? But hey, welcome regardless. But we have got Scotty. I thought Senor Fat would be pulling away a little bit, but this is his first time through the first sector without anyone hampering him in front of him. So it'll be interesting to see if he can pull a second gap by the time he gets to the banking. So you see how much the Lambo gains on the McLaren in this twisty section. It's first time on the stream. Well, welcome. Hope you enjoy it. But yeah, Pyro's coming under pressure from Scotty. Yeah, you were mad saving, yeah. I'm assuming, because you weren't even bump drafting him for most of the straight. So he doesn't look like he's saving too much. And Sinofac hasn't been able to break the slipstream. How long have I been streaming? This is my second season. So not that long, to be honest. Although it is a few months now. Time flies when you're having fun. And these top four have pulled a gap on, so it's the Corvettes trying to work together, but it's not really working because Taz and it's Mortal who's coming through. Ross only in 9th, so he's not made up too many positions. Mortal is going to be able to get past Hasseldor, he is. And Sinjafak's still not pulling away at the front. I really thought he'd be just driving away from Pyro. I mean, they qualified P1 and P14 respectively. Now the real question is, what are these guys going to do? Because these guys were fighting at the front of the sprint. Are they going to work together to try and close the gap to the top four? Or is Mortal just going to send it before they even get to the banking? Looks like a little bit of contact. I think he's just waiting to let Taz go there, maybe. Yeah, definitely. We think he's just waiting to let Taz go. Went a little bit too deep on the brakes. Luckily, it hasn't cost him a position, though. But that kind of answers our question of are they going to work together to close the gap? The answer is probably no. Mortal just wants to get through and get gone. These three have pulled away massively. So what has happened to Peachy? Something's happened to Peachy there. He was in 8th. Oh, Ross. Let's have a look at that again. Let's go on board with Peachy. We're going wide, we're going wide. Ooh, that looks kind of just like netcode going crazy, to be honest. That was such a minor contact that resulted in that. Yeah, the Lexus fuel's crazy. Peachy really unlucky there. That was such a tiny hit. I'm not even sure that's a penalty exactly. It's... Oh, we're missing a mess up. Is Ross going to get a penalty? He's pre-warned us. Oh, no, never mind. He's just gone. Gets a bit on the grass. Oof. Almost collects Rd8 on his rejoin. But he is going to be quite a ways down with no slipstream to help him catch up. So I think Ross may be going to be fighting for a top 10. We know he's got the pace. But we know some of these guys at the back have got the pace as well. Peachy, who was up in P6, we expect him to make his way forward from there, even without the slipstream. And then we've got this big battle going on. So who's at the front of this? We've got Prime Call up in 8th at the front of this battle. We've got a Rotkos, Deco, and then Spin in 11th. Spin is trying to get the move done on Deco, although Deco's managed to send it around the outside. Is he going to go around the outside of Rotkos as well? Ooh, almost. But he was a little bit twitchy on the exit, and that's almost going to cost him the position to Spin. Almost had a move done, gained 2 places, ends up losing 1. Like Spin was a little bit late on the brakes and made some contact with the Rotkos, and Deco's actually going to sneak through. That looked like just a massive crossing of lines there. Spin taps a Rotkos in the braking zone, which bumps him a little bit wide. Then Spin tries to slow down. Yeah, that's just a really unfortunate set of circumstances. Because Spin actually slowing down to try and give the position back actually made the whole thing worse. But Deco's managed to gain those 2 positions, up into P9. Tom up into 10th. Can he gain on Deco with the Supra? Should definitely be able to in this section of the track. And he looks like he's just about within slipstream. Just needs a good run through the chicane, he can maybe get onto the back of him. It's not that close. The slipstream isn't actually that strong when you're that far back. For me in particular, it's usually a Thursday, because that is a day I have free. But our comms kind of get done sporadically. Tier 1 is always on Mondays, because it's get done live. And then Tiers 2 down to Tier 5 could be done any day of the week. Like Pyro did 6 comms in the last 3 days, I think, for his tier to catch up and get it done. So if you subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on, you will get tagged when they go up, or join the server. Either or, you will get notified when they go up, because they're a bit sporadic. So let's go and have a check-in at the front. Senor Fak has... Okay, so now he's managed to break the gap. Just setting consistent laps, so it's the guys behind having a bit of a mare. Yeah, thank you for joining me, Ellie. I think you've been here for pretty much all of them. So Pyro's still holding on to P2. And we know Ellie's doing massive fuel saving, and you can see it on down in the bottom right, or bottom left there, sorry. He does have more... What the hell was that? The DC! Oh, that's unlucky. I was wondering what the hell happened there. So Ellie just DC'd, was a comfortable fourth, just fuel saving behind the top 3. And now just nothing. Can you make some art for the channel, as in... what are they called? Thumbnails and stuff, I'm guessing. If you hop in the server and ask some of the admins, I'm sure if they need anything, they'll be more than happy to let you help out. Scotty's actually trying to go for the move here. Okay, logo, banner, emote, sub badges. Okay, so lots of stuff then. Ross is actually in the chat, so if you want to inquire about that stuff, join the Discord. I'm guessing there's a link in the description. Shoot him a DM. He might be able to help you out. I'll send you to someone who can, if they're interested. And we've got still Scotty there. This has got to be Scotty's best chance to get this move done in the infield section. Doesn't manage to go for the move there though. Yeah, and these guys are just really losing time now because they're starting to fight in the infield, which is where it's really going to cost time. And they're not bump drafting on the straights because I'm not even sure how easily Scotty can get there. Doesn't look like he's fuel saving much though. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes 14 or 15 laps. They've got basically the same amount of fuel, so they look to be doing the same strategy. Except Scotty's got much worse tyres. I wonder if Scotty's one that might have to go onto the hard tyres as well, because that rear right tyre is not working. Discord link isn't working. If anyone is in the chat who can grab one, I'm not sure if you'll be able to post it in the chat or not. Yeah, I'm sure someone should be able to help out, I'm hoping. There are many people in the chat. I would have to do it after the race if I can help out, but I will, if it's not done, I will have a look and try and sort it. Scotty is finally going to get the move done into turn 2, essentially. Same place as Sinify did it. Oh, but he's got a... I was just taking so long. Okay, nice. Scotty, is he going to be able to hold this position? He's going to be able to hold the position into this corner, but is he going to be able to hold it by the time they get to the banking? He's going to need the exit of all exits to hold on to this. Got Motto up into P4 behind these guys, so Motto's making great progress forward. Bringing Asseldar and Taz with him. Okay, he does get a good exit. But is the McLaren, with its superior top speed, going to be able to get close enough to go for a move? Actually, Pyro's tyres have started to go off as well. Those rear tyres started to come down pretty quickly. Scotty's is still worse, but it's not looking as big of a difference as it was before. He's managed to hold it into the chicane. Oh, but he gets a bit of a slide there. Is that going to open the door for Pyros to just drive around him? There's nothing really Scotty can do in this situation. It's just hug the inside and hope Pyro doesn't get far enough alongside. He's bump drafting. Is he just going to work together? That is also an option. Looks like he's deciding just to work together for now. Oh, we've got Taz going for a move in the background up the inside of Asseldor. There's a little bit of contact, but it looked fair enough. So Taz up into P5, sticking with Mortal. He's actually going for a send on Pyro. Does manage to get it with a little bit of contact, and that might even allow Taz through up into P3. Getting a 2 for 1. Almost. If he can stay alongside, he can potentially go for a move into the next corner. And he's definitely going to send it up the inside, managed to get it stopped. Should be able to get it turned better, and he does. So Taz up into P3. Yeah, he's been absolutely sent at that corner 3 times now, and he's lost the position every time. But Pyro's actually managed to get past Mortal again. How did he manage that? Because he was clearly behind. Mortal goes a little bit deep, maybe? Yeah, it goes too deep, and you can't really get on the throttle when you're out on that curb. And Pyro just gets up the inside, gets that position back, so Mortal back down to P5. So all nose to tail through this section. That looks a little bit wide from Mortal. Hopefully that's not a penalty. It doesn't look like it was. Okay, so he's right on the back of these guys. Scotty looked like he got a good exit. He's definitely going to prefer having the Peugeot behind him to any of the cars that are 4th, 5th and 6th. Because it's actually Pyro who's closing up and putting pressure on Taz, which is actually bringing them all up to Scotty. Scotty's still got the inside though, but he just... Ooh. That looked like he just kind of forced Taz out wide there. It looked like he used up all the track, and that's cost Taz massively down to 6th. I mean, Scotty knows he needs to keep ahead, but that looks a little bit over the line, just from that perspective. And now he's basically removed the one car that wouldn't easily overtake him, and there's now 3 behind him that potentially could. How his tyres looking? Still not getting close to being dead yet. Senor Fak is just cruising out front. Consistent 47s every lap. These guys fighting is just costing him almost seconds a lap. And Scotty's actually pulled away massively in the infield section, which you would expect with the Lambo, but that is a lot of time gained. And it'd be massive for him if he can break the slipstream. Mo's actually lost the position to Asseldor as well. Now Asseldor having a look at Pyro. Gets a decent exit. The problem for Asseldor is that Pyro is still in the slipstream with Scotty. And Pyro is definitely not fuel saving. He's over revving that McLaren like he should be if you're going flat out. And he's getting close, not close enough to go for a move, but is that going to open the door for Asseldor? Oh, Pyro's just going too deep into there, way too deep. Manages to just come on in front of Taz. Just about, but they're trying to go side by side to this section. Go forward. Taz doesn't manage to get that position. Pyro's got dirty tyres and everything. Oh, look, Scotty having a massive slide out of that corner. And his tyre wear, that's going to wear his tyres so quickly. So overheating the rears. And the Corvette is going to be a worse car than the McLaren to have behind him. But it's crucial that he stays close through this section and then through the chicane if he doesn't get past before it. These guys kind of spread out a little bit. Let's have a little drop back and check how everyone else is doing. So Prime Call up into P7. Actually, is that down into P7? Might have lost a position or two with the fact that the leaders from the sprint race coming through. Tom's up into 8th. It's a really good race from Tom. Managed to get past the Deco. Peachy has recovered up into 10th. And Spin in 11th, Orozco's in 12th. We saw these guys come together. They've kind of spread out a little bit now. And Ariete is about to come under some pressure from Ross, who has got pretty good tyres. 10 laps into the race, those tyres are looking great considering. He's doing a pace that would match the leader, so not really surprising that he is closing that gap. And especially Ariete's had really bad laps on the last couple 150s. That's 2 seconds, pretty much he's 2 seconds slower than his best lap. And it's close to 3 seconds slower than Ross. Doesn't like Ross going to be able to go for a move, so let's go a little bit forward. Peachy's close to the back of Deco. Not close enough to go for the move. Deco just goes a little bit wide. We could probably get on the throttle sooner because that Porsche's got such good traction. And he's another one that's going to struggle on the top speed side compared to the Supra in front and the Corvette behind. Well, he's not quite close enough to go for the move. Let's have a quick shuffle back up. So Pyro has managed to stay on the back of Taz. Even after his dirty tyres and he's off, he's still sticking with Taz, which is massive because he needs the slipstream to keep this race going for himself and to potentially close into these guys again. Neither Asseldor or Moss has been able to get close enough to Scotty to go for a move. Zeniofax still chilling out front. First lap in the 48s since lap 2. And Scotty's been back into the 47s on the last couple of laps, so that's actually a good pace considering how worn his tyres are. But that's how much time you can gain when he's not under pressure from the cars behind. So is Mortal working together with Asseldor to try and get them past Scotty, or are they fighting each other? Looks like Mortal's just sitting in behind him and pushing him. And you can see how much they've gained on Scotty. That's all that gap is gone now. Asseldor looked like he was trying to get to the inside but couldn't quite make it. But he's now right onto the back of Scotty. Well, I thought he was going to just send it there out the inside. But I think he was just a bit later on the brakes than Scotty was. Oh, Scotty's out wide. Oh, yeah, you can't go over the curves when your tyres are that dead. We've seen his tyres were struggling. So he's currently down to 7th. He's going to join in this big gap, but the cars are coming pretty quickly. He might lose more than this. Yeah, he's down to 8th now. Oh, gets a... Oh, that's really unlucky. Deco just trying to get there a bit late. I think did he get collected in the end? He must have got collected from whoever was behind him, yeah. I think that's the second time we've seen someone slow down, and that's what's essentially caused them to have their own incident. That's going to cost Deco massively, it's going to cost Scotty massively, and his tyres are going to be absolutely cooked now. I think Ariete had another penalty, potentially. Deco waiting for Scotty off the track this time, so looking at causing another incident. Ross is now up to 11th. Yeah, he really is. So that corner's a bit deceptive. You think you can go through it easily flat and leave space, but you just can't, especially when you're on worn tyres. It's surprisingly difficult. But Ross now back up into P11, so this top 10 is definitely still on the cards. And these guys have all improved positions because of it. Tom now up into P7. So this would be his best result out of the 2 races he's done. Or 3 races now, but this would be his 4th race, 2nd round. And obviously Scotty down from P2. It's Perot's Asseldor and Mortal up into P2 and P3. Taz and Pyro are closing up to the top 2, or the 2nd and 3rd, sorry, which is a little bit surprising. Because these are the guys at the front, like Mortal and Asseldor, they were fighting for the win in the first race. So was Taz, but Pyro was not. So this is good pace from Pyro. Really making use of that slipstream. Only a 10th down in the first sector. And that is really the slipstream that's keeping it like that. Are Taz's tyres that much better? Not really, I'd say they're actually worse, to be honest. Just sort of in general. But he's definitely coming back at the P2 and P3. And we've got one more lap until the pit window opens, unless you're going in for hards, which you could theoretically come in now, but I don't think it's worth it. You run the mediums as long as you can, and then hards for as few laps as possible. It looks like Mortal's just working together. He's not going for the move on Asseldor. So maybe he's potentially getting held up. I wouldn't have thought so. They were pretty similar pace in the sprint race. But they're definitely losing time to the Taz and Pyro. Yeah, they really don't. And when the rear tyres go first, it's so much worse than when the fronts go. Yeah, Mortal's definitely not interested in going for the move. He's just bumping Asseldor. Yeah. Yeah, I figured, because you've just been bumping him. Which makes sense. Let's have a look at the fuel. Asseldor has got so much less than Mortal. And Taz has got so much less than Mortal as well. Yeah, so Mortal's been saving massive amounts of fuel. So he's going to jump them in the pits 100% if they pit at the same time. Defends the inside. I don't think he's interested in going for the move, because this slipstream is just helping him save so much fuel. He doesn't want to get past. Ooh, gets a little bit of a touch from Taz. Some people behind pitted already. Yeah, well, Scotty makes sense. He must be going into the hards now. There's no way he's going to do 10 laps on the softs. Rd8 as well, we saw him struggling. I imagine having the bad tyre wear is probably what kept him doing like 50s and stuff and getting penalties. Is he on the hards? He's on the softs. Okay, so I think Scotty's made the right decision here to go on the hards. Already going softs is questionable about getting to the end. And he needs to get past Scotty immediately. But I'm sure they're going to run out of... I'm sure they're going to die before the end of the race. Surely. I mean, 9 was pushing it. In an MR car where you can't really do much about saving the rear tyres, that's going to be a struggle. A big struggle. And Aero is going to have a struggle here with the second penalty, and that might be enough for Ross to get through. Or potentially come into the pits. Looks like Ross may be coming into the pits there. Yeah, so Ross going for the undercut. Trying to go 9 laps on the softs. Primeco potentially doing the same. Yeah, it really is. Especially on tracks like this. I think on more traditional tracks you can sort of manage it a little bit. This, there's not really anything you can do. Primeco coming in this early is a little bit surprising, because the Mercedes have struggled on tyres for most of the season. So, unless he's going onto the hards, which would make sense. But let's keep going. So, Ross has essentially lost that position to Ross with the 1 second penalty, and he's going to get undercut as well. Really? I'm surprised in the BMW. I was not wearing the rears more than the fronts in the Jag. But I was pushing like 100% in the second half of the race, so... Softs for the AMG. Surprising. That is surprising. Only based on the strategies from the previous races. Because I do think the AMG could do 9 laps on softs if you take care of the tyres. It's just they've never seemed to go for that strategy. So it'll be interesting to see if it works out now. They have an awkward time to do it because they could have maybe done it earlier in the season if it works now. We've got Sinofak in after 15 laps. Should be able to easily go the rest of the way on the softs, as should all of these guys. Taz barely making it in on the fuel he had. And we can see there Mortal having such a big fuel advantage. Everybody else surely going to be coming in this lap. Yeah, even Roscoe's, he saved massive amounts of fuel as well. Even more than Mortal has. Not particularly surprising, given that he's in the Lexus. Shows what Ellie could have potentially had if they hadn't got disconnected. So let's go down to the drivers are out. Prime Call is the first driver to pit. Well, not the first driver to pit, it's the lead driver who's pitted. How much is the undercut going to get him? Because the Daytona pit lane is a lot shorter than it used to be, because it doesn't make you drive the actual exit of the pit lane anymore. I mean, it can work saving a lot of fuel. So he's up to 6th. I think that's where he was, but he's managed to hold that position at least. But Tom is going to be coming at him with fresher tyres for the whole race. Everybody else is surely going to come out on softs. Yeah, even the Corvette's coming out on softs, and they've had awful tyre wear this season. They've been basically forced into using the hard tyres at some point in every race. And Peachy, did he get killed in this race? Yeah, he did, right near the start. So he's actually done well to get up into 9th, and he's pretty close to potentially getting 6th. He's probably got a similar pace to the guys in front, but if they work together, they could potentially close that gap. Rocco's fuel saving has actually kept him out of in front, because Ross has got way more fuel in, but if Ross gets there, he's probably going to fly past him with the amount of fuel saving. Yeah, I mean, to equalise it, it could just increase the refuel speed as well, because that would make the time difference less as well. Something to think about, maybe. Because it is crazy sometimes, like the difference between the best fuel-saving car and the worst fuel-saving car. But it also means it's something that you don't have to consider when you're picking your car, so there's positives and negatives. I think we may have just given Ross an idea. But yeah, it is an option. So Peachy now right onto the back of Spin. Looks like he's thinking about going for the move, but can't quite get to the inside. Goes a little bit wide on the exit, that's going to cost him. And Rocco's is closing up, despite having less fuel. So let's go back up to the front and just check in how the order is looking. Mortal did manage to jump everyone with his fuel saving. He's quite a ways off of Senior Fak at the moment, so I don't think he's really going to be challenging that unless Senior Fak gets a penalty. He's broken the slipstream to Asseldor, which is going to be massive, because Taz is just about in it and Pyro looks to be just about in the slipstream as well. And if these guys close up and start fighting, we've seen how much time you lose already earlier in the race. And then there's a big gap behind Pyro down to Prime Call and Tom battling for P6. So let's go back. Eric's Peachy was really close and has managed to get that move done on Spin. So I think this is just Corvette straight line speed doing work. Managed to get to the outside. Not quite completely alongside, so managed to get it done on the brakes nicely, gets to the apex. And doesn't look like he got a penalty there. The P6 is not out of the question for Peachy, which double P6 would be a great result, especially after getting taken out in the feature race. And Ross, it's a big gap to make up, especially without Slipstream and someone to work with. Spin getting a bump from Rotocos. Is he going to work with Peachy? No. Oh, but he's a little bit early on the brakes, and that's going to allow Rotocos to just dive to the inside and get the move done. Really good move there from Rotocos. I think Spin maybe just wanted to play it safe so that he didn't collect Peachy in front of him. And then Rotocos just seized that opportunity, sent it down the inside, got the move done. And Peachy, can he close this gap even without Slipstream? I think he might be able to, you know. He's pulling a little bit of a gap on Rotocos, and that gap looks like it's coming down. Still saying personal best at the moment, and the guys ahead are going up high, which is not going to help them. Primeco just trying to break the toe there. I'm not really sure it's worth it doing that. But that super is quick. So if it does work, you need to be doing everything you can. And so I'm playing it nice and safe through the chicane. Definitely within Slipstream. Peachy probably just outside of it. Now Tom looks close. Looks the closest he's been for a while. Is he going to be able to get past Primeco, moving to the outside to break the toe? Surely going to move back to the inside, and he does. Tom trying to squeeze to the inside. That's kind of overtaking off track. I don't even know if the game might give him a penalty for that. Yep. And that is going to cost him massively. Not only is it going to drop into the back of this train, it's going to drop him off the back of it and maybe close to Ross. Will certainly be significantly closer to Ross. But yeah, you can't just go under like the double yellow line like that. The game will give you a penalty. I wasn't sure it would, but it does, which is good to know. You can be cheeky if the car on the inside doesn't fully cover it off. If you keep two wheels on the outside of that double yellow line, you actually be okay and manage to get the move done. But most people tend to just absolutely hug the yellow line on the inside because it's the fastest line. So that 3-second penalty is going to cost Tom massively. How are we looking up front? It looks fairly spaced out. Pyro's actually right on the back of Taz, which is not what I was expecting. I was expecting Taz to be going to Asseldorf. So Pyro has found some ridiculous pace in the feature race, considering between them two is allowed, yeah. But Pyro's found some ridiculous pace. He qualified P14. And he's now fighting with a driver who was fighting for the win in the sprint race. And they've basically got the same amount of fuel. So there's no... This is just on pace. Can't get the move done, but Taz goes a little bit wide. And that's shoved. I think that's Pyro through. Still side by side. No, he's completely through up into fourth. Is he going to get mugged in this corner? No, he left the door open though. He did leave the door open. Ooh, I thought he was going that much over that curb can be dangerous. I know the McLaren's stable. Sometimes you just don't want to push it. It's still wearing the rear tyres more than the fronts. So let's quickly have a look down, see... Yeah, it did. That cost Tom all of that time. He's completely out of the group ahead, and he's into the clutches of Ross. So he's definitely going to be having a go at this. He does have to be a little careful on the tyres, possibly. He's trying 9 laps compared to Tom going 8. I'm fairly certain he doesn't have to save any fuel whatsoever. And he's left these guys up ahead. That was a rock. I was having a slide. That's going to allow Spin around the outside. See, if I was Spin, I'd just be coming down to the inside, take the shorter line. I know them guys are up there, but they've got to come back down to the inside line. And it is now Peachy having a go for this 6th place. but he's not close enough to go for the move. Can he line one up with a good run out of the chicane? He really is. I mean, I thought Pyro was in qualifying, down in 14th, and now all of a sudden he's in 4th and moving forward. Could even get on the podium. Lasseldor is right in front of him. So this pack is split into little kind of groups of 2. And it looks like they're both going for moves. Peach is trying to go around the outside. Rocco's managed to go down the inside. Really late. Managed not to collect the cars in front. Got very close to them. Peach is right on the back of Prime Call. Prime Call is definitely going to defend the inside. Peach is going to try and go all the way around the outside. You can make this work. As long as you can keep some part of your car. Yeah, and he looks like he's going to get the better exit. Oh, and he may be trying to come across the racing line a little early. Small bit of contact. But he's through and up into P6. So this is a great recovery from Peachy. Definitely his best race this season. There is a massive gap in front of him now that he's got to drive into and hopefully drive away from the cars behind, because they're going to start battling as well. Rocco's just loses the position to spin again. So maybe if losing the position to spin once wasn't enough to secure not getting promoted, doing it twice will get the job done. Spin going for the move on Prime Call. Oh, they're going side by side with the chicane. Is everyone going to get left room? Oh, I thought Spin was going round there. Massive slide in the middle. But they've actually managed to survive. Nobody got a penalty. Everybody's pointing in the right direction. Now, Spin's going to get bumped by Rotko's. Are they both just going to go around the outside of Rotko, of Prime Call? Maybe. Spin should really just be moving over to the inside now. Don't leave the inside open. You've been mugged there once already. So Peachy is managing to pull away from this group now with all this battling. Spin does manage to get through. Rocco's still going side by side, but he's just about... Yeah, he's completely ahead now. Oh, and Rocco's late on the brakes. And Ross and Tom are closing into the back of this group. I don't think they've got enough laps to get there. But this battling is slowing them down massively. Is Prime Call struggling on the tyres? And they're not too bad. They're worse than the cars in front though. And slightly worse than the... they're fairly similar. Ross did manage to get past Tom. So a bit unfortunate for Tom, because he was on for a really good result. Almost top 6 potentially. And Rocco's has had another moment, is prepared to get passed by Prime Call in the same place again. So he's been passed twice there by Spin, and now he's just got passed by Prime Call. Spin, for some reason, is hugging the high line. Not really sure why these guys are doing that. And Rocco's is bump drafting Prime Call. Guessing he doesn't want to go for a move into the chicane, which is probably advisable, to be honest. And then he's going to try and push him and Prime Call past Spin as Peachy drives away from this group. And we've actually got a 3-way fight for the podium. Who is suffering on tyres? The McLaren and the Peugeot both struggling a bit on tyres. Senior Fak is well and truly gone. Just not even in the same race as everybody else. And somebody's having a spin. I heard tyre squealing. I think there's a car that's a lap down. That's probably Rd8 on his dead tyres, I'm guessing. So, not one of the leaders. Whoa, Taz with a late one to the inside. Yeah, surely going to go deep. He was so late on the brakes there. Hasn't actually cost him that much time, though. It's kind of one of those corners where you can make a V out of it and kind of make it work. So, Pyro is just about within the slipstream range. He really wanted to be closer than this. They're both going to be struggling on tyres. They're all going to be struggling on tyres. Taz is actually the worst out of the three. So no one close enough to go for a move in the chicane, or nobody wanting to go for a move at least. Oh, but Taz makes a mistake. Not really surprising with that one rear right tyre. It was just giving up. Mortal did warn me about this. He's just slowing down for a photo finish with his teammate because he can. He's nothing to fight for. So this is now a fight for P2. And Pyro's got the overspeed coming around the outside. Is it going to be enough? Senor Fact takes the win with an amazing race from the front. Hasseldo's just barely going to hold on. No, Pyro gets it on the line. I was so close there. Taz gets fourth. Mortal's still waiting for these guys. Peach is actually going to get promoted into a top 5 for this. Spin is... Whoa! Bit of contact there. Ross doing the same thing. Spin is going side by side with Prime Core. I think Prime Core getting the move done on Spin right at the end. Tom managed to get up to 8th. Rocco's down to 9th. Then we've got the two Jaguar teammates coming off across the line for a photo finish. In P10 and 11. Can't miss the photo opportunity. Deco just about going to make it on his tyres. Scotty's actually left. Yeah, and Rd8 just no tyres left, which you kind of expected. Looks like they went on lap 8. So going 10 laps was definitely a mistake on him. But yeah, it was a crazy ending there. Three photo finishes. Pyro just managing to get P2. So I think that might be his third of the season. His P2s. We didn't really touch on Senor Fac after the first lap, but he's drove a great race from the front. Once he broke the slipstream to the guys behind early on, they never really got close to him. Taz has finally died on this outlaw on the in-lap. Peachy up to P5 after getting taken out was a great result as well. And Tom, 8th, pretty sure that's his best result as well. So, a good way to end the season for a lot of these drivers. And that's already having more spinning problems. And we will just stick on him for the we'll see if he loses it on the banking. Let's have a look. How did the standings turn out? Obviously we know our champions. Mortal Tier 2 champion for this season, so he'll be in Tier 1 next season, because champions automatically get promoted. Roscoe's did barely manage to get into P2 by 1 point. Actually, over Senor Fac, with such a good feature race, actually managed to jump into P3 over Elian, missing the last 2 rounds. Which just gave Mortal basically over a 100-point lead by the end. But yeah, Roscoe's just was kind of fortunate to get enough points to get second in the end, because it was not a good last race. And AMG do hold on to P2 in the Constructors ahead of Lexus. Just ahead of Porsche, actually. Obviously with Ellie's DC. And Rocco's is a bit of a mare last round. But yeah, that is it for this season. The next season will be starting up, I think the first race is the 4th of August. If you want to put that in your calendars. Mortal is the only one guaranteed promoted to Tier 1 from this tier. I think someone was saying there, Senor Fact just missed out on the fastest lap, which would have got him an extra position. That is unfortunate, because he was definitely the fastest, I think, today. But yeah, that is it for this season. I will be back for next season. Don't know which tier yet. But yeah, just keep an eye out. Yeah, Tier 1. Congratulations. It was a crazy season, like ridiculous. Ended up in ridiculous domination. Especially the second half. It was just crazy. But yeah, I will see you all not so soon, but 4th of August, first race. So it'll be the week after that. Hope you enjoyed it this season. And hopefully I'll see you back for next season.